The material presented on this MOOC is meant to be used strictly for entertainment. It was created as a part of a university project and by no means is able to replace a real survival guide created by professionals. By using the material, you agree that none of the contributors of the MOOC has any legal liability for any physical or property harm that might occur by following the advice presented in this material. Remember that your integrity is above any momentary impulse, and above all, use common sense and follow the local laws and the instructions of the authorities and health professionals. People might believe that the survival guide for riots is aimed only towards hooligans, but this is far from being true. First of all, people who intend to cause trouble already know all the advice that we will give you and even more. It is you, the peaceful and innocent people, who are in the need of this advice, because your integrity is going to be in danger. Living in a democratic and peaceful society gives you a sense of security, but there can be occasions that unexpected events can happen. For example, a peaceful protest might turn bad because of a hot-tempered minority, or even a riot can start out of the blue for no special reason, like a bad result in a sports event. For example, let's have a look at what happened in Canada, a society known for its easygoing citizens and peaceful way of life. After the local hockey team lost at the final game of the season, many of its so-called fans decided to release their feelings of disappointment to public and private property. They even started fighting between themselves. As you can guess, this situation could be a threat to people who just happen to be there. Moreover, the recent economic crisis has catalytically contributed to the rise of protests that take place in democratic countries, and to the overall probability that hooligans will take advantage of the protest to cause trouble. Life goes on. Even if you know that there is a protest that has a high probability of turning bad, you might have obligations related to the area of the protest. For example, you might work in the area, or you might have an appointment that cannot be changed, or even live there. We believe that possible acts of hooligans should not prevent you from living your life normally. Lastly, we strongly believe that anybody should have the right to legally and peacefully protest. It is a right that any citizen should have in a democratic society. Therefore, the probability of a riot should not discourage you from joining a protest that you believe is important. Fear is a basic threat to free speech and democracy. Nothing should prohibit you from practicing your rights. Therefore, the correct preparation is vital to a peaceful protest. So, let's review what you should wear during a riot and what you should not wear. So the first thing is that you have to remember that you will be exposed under the sun for long hours and that your skin might be exposed to chemicals thrown by the police. So, first of all, you have to wear comfortable shoes and clothes. You may even have to run even though you have done nothing, because during a riot, and there is a huge mess, so the police might not be able to distinguish who is the actual troublemaker and who is not. So wearing comfortable shoes and clothes is a vital thing. Moreover, you should avoid any dark colored clothing, because usually the black bloc is wearing these clothes. Black bloc are the so-called anarchists or plain hooligans. These are the ones who are going there to cause the trouble. So their taste of fashion is aimed towards black clothes. If you wear the clothes that they are wearing, probably the police might target you. Another thing to remember is that your clothing must cover as much as possible to protect yourself from pepper spray or other chemicals. Therefore, it is vital to wear long-sleeved t-shirts and long trousers. The next thing to remember is that there might be use of chemicals. So in order to protect yourself and help you breathe better, you should have with yourself a bandana soaked with cider vinegar. In case of use of chemicals, just put it in front of your mouth and try to breathe through it. And then a final thing that you have to do is bring with you some fresh clothes closely sealed in a plastic bag. That way, in case that your sock gets soaked with chemicals, you will have a fresh clothes to change. And remember that the plastic bag should be properly closed so that the new pair of clothes is not SOAC 2 in chemicals. So now that we have reviewed what you have to wear, let's take a closer look to what you have to bring. First of all, you have to bring lots of water. As we told earlier, you will remain under the sun for a long time. Plus, the tear gas has the effect that makes you want to spit. So having water with you is going to help you. You might even wash your skin or eyes to wash away some of the chemicals. As we will see later, this is not the best thing to do, but it certainly helps. Then you have to bring some snacks, because, as we said, you will stay a lot of hours there, so have something to keep you energized. And because during the riot is going to be a huge mess, bring with yourself just enough money so that you can find some food, transport, and maybe use a payphone. Having more than that is an overkill. Probably you will not use them, and you run the risk of losing them, which is a pity. If possible, bring 2 phones in case you lose one of them. Another very important thing to remember is that you have to bring with you your medication. A riot can take a lot of time, and you might be blocked in the area for an indefinite amount of time. So you must have your medication with you. Another thing that could happen is that you might be arrested. And the police is not known for having a pharmacy with them. So in case you need a medication, you should have it with you, because even if they want to provide it with you, probably they will not be able. Another good idea would be to have with you your medical prescription. And probably you should have it in 3 copies. 1 copy is aimed for you, the other copy is aimed for the police so that you can prove them that you really need to take that medication. And the 3rd copy should be provided to any health personnel that might assist you. So that way they know exactly what your trouble is and how to help you. So now that we reviewed the things that you should do, let's review the things that you should not do. First of all, you should avoid using oil-based sunscreen, because the oil and its chemical properties can have some very strange interaction with the chemicals that the police might use. That way it is best to avoid it. So if you have to choose between wearing it and not wearing it at all, then probably you should try to wear it if it is your only option, because the sun can prove to be more dangerous than the chemicals. But remember that in case that chemicals are used, then wearing that kind of sunscreen is going to give you a worse time than if you didn't. Another very important thing to remember is that you should never wear contact lenses, because the chemicals are trapped in the contact lenses, so they stay there and hurt your eye. Moreover, in case that you do wear contact lenses, remove them as fast as possible. Then remember that there is no way that you can clean them. You have to throw them away. Another thing is to remember that you should not bring valuable things. Just bring what is basic for you. I mean, thieves are everywhere in the riot, because hooligans have a tendency to take advantage of messy situations, and probably you are not going to use anything more than the bare essentials. So, moreover, you should avoid wearing things that can be easily grabbed. This is pretty much self-explanatory. And the last and most important thing is that friends do not let friends go to riots alone. So you must always have a friend with you who can actually give you some first aid in case you need it, can defend you, and can speak with you if you become incapacitated. So now that you have a basic understanding of the basic things that you should need in and during a riot, let's try to review some of these. So, let's answer the following question. What of these things would you choose? A. Dark clothes and a bandana soaked in cider vinegar. B. As much money as possible. C. Use oil-based sunscreen. D. Wear long-sleeved shirts. You have 30 seconds to answer that question, so be quick.